This podcast has been created and curated to give an insider's perspective on what life is truly like as a leader in higher education, academic medicine, and nonprofit organizations. Join Kara and Rob as they talk to a wide variety of leaders from these sectors, gaining a holistic perspective into the opportunities, stressors, and delights that come with leading in these unique environments. We hope you enjoy listening.
Hello and welcome. We are delighted you're listening. My name is Kara Penfield and I'm with the Spiro Coaching Institute. Today I'm coming to you along with my co-founder and partner, Rob Kramer. How are you, my friend?
Hey, how are you? So good to see you again and hear your voice.
Rob, would you like to introduce today's guest?
I am so happy to introduce and bring into our circle Diana Hicks. Diana is the founder and executive director of Canned Aid. It's a nonprofit organization based in Colorado, but with a really broad national reach. Canned Aid offers people-powered programs which provide tools and access for under-resourced communities to lead healthy, active, and creative lives. How cool is that? Super cool.
The coolest.
So Diana oversees all aspects of the growing nonprofit's activities, including its vision, board engagement, new partnership development, launching innovative programs, the list goes on. Diana's many years of experience in the nonprofit sector and her unconventional and entrepreneurial approach are changing the way people think about philanthropy. And having watched her do this, I would 100% agree. She's hardwired to create a culture of connection, and her passion and enthusiasm are truly, truly contagious. And on a personal note, strap yourself in, Diana. She and I have known each other for more than 40 years. Yeah, she is indeed a leader of badass do-goodery. Diana Hicks, welcome to our little circle.
Thank you so much. It's so fun to be here. I appreciate the invitation.
So Diana, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. As you know, I grew up in Northern Virginia, right with you. And I've been living out in Colorado for 30 plus years now. I'm in the small town of Lyons, Colorado, which is an outdoor mecca. But prior to that, I lived in Crested Butte, which is also a tiny mountain town at, 9,000 feet almost. So I love the outdoors. I love live music, and I love my job, which has been for many, many years in the nonprofit space.
Diana, I'm so excited. I have not known Diana for 40 years, but I have known her for 4, so about 1/10 of it. And I'm so inspired by what you all do. I'm going to start off with a fun question so that our listeners can get to know you. What was the first concert you ever attended?
Oh, I love that you're asking this because I've just been talking about it lately because it was actually Bruce Springsteen and that movie is out right now. So we went, my husband and I went to see it, and it brought back so many memories, just the way that music does. I was in my teenage bedroom, all of those things that came with seeing and hearing those songs. Yeah, so it was Bruce Springsteen, my very first concert. And I think that actually really set me up for a life of being a huge live music fan in general, but I really am specifically interested in great lyrics. Singer-songwriters are what really pull me in and have my whole life.
Really? And being in Colorado, what a great place for live music.
Oh, there
the
is
venues you all have.
Any night of the week. There are so many great venues here up in Fort Collins, Denver, Boulder. Here in Lyons, where I live, there's a ton of live music happening all the time.
That's so awesome. So now, what is the best concert you've ever attended?
Oh gosh. I think there's nothing like your first concert, and I was such a mega fan. My girlfriends and I were in tears, trying to get anything to get Bruce Springsteen to sign it. I'm not that much of a fangirl anymore in general when I go to see music. Bruce was a hard one to top, but I've been fortunate. I've worked with a ton of musicians over the years, and one of my current favorites that I've seen a lot and still brings me to tears and get all the good feels is Tyler Childers. So I saw him recently at the Healing Appalachia festival in Kentucky.
Oh, my neck of the woods.
Can we just talk music and not talk about
Yeah,
leadership
I would
today?
love
That would be
that.
super fun.
More exciting than leadership in the moment. No.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you your first tricky question. You ready?
Okay.
If you were going to tattoo a phrase on your arm, what would you tattoo?
Ooh, if it's specifically well, I guess leadership and life are, they go hand in hand, but I think my guiding principle is trust your gut. So maybe it would be that. I don't have any tattoos. I'm a rare individual these days. I feel like most people have lots. I don't have any, but it might be trust your gut.
Nice.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing that. What are you most focused on right now at work?
Well, we have always participated in the music space, but we're leaning more heavily into that. In fact, this weekend we have a big fundraiser here that is the title of it is Instruments for Change, and that is what we're calling all of our music programs. So under Instruments for Change, we have a roster of nationally touring tunes ambassadors that help us raise funds and awareness. We have actual instrument donations that we do all over the country where we're working directly with music teachers in underfunded, typically Title I schools all across the country, but we work with the music teacher to find out what they need, and then we provide as much of their wish list as we can. So we're not dictating you're getting guitars or you're getting brass instruments. We're really working and customizing each instrument donation based on the music teacher's needs. And then also under Instruments for Change, we've always been, as Rob said in his intro, fueled by people power. And so we have all of these projects where people come together and volunteer their time and their skills and help us build things. And one of the programs that we have the volunteers help build are ukuleles. So all of those things that community members can come together and decorate and actually string and assemble ukuleles that we also then donate to music programs that have a need, and work with music teachers to do ukulele lessons and workshops. So that's really what we've been focusing on lately, is leaning much more into our Instruments for Change music programs and making a bigger impact in music in general. And as we started off the top of this conversation, music has just always been a huge passion of mine. I'm not a musician, but I am an avid music lover, and I did play instruments growing up. But Rob and I we were fortunate to be in a public school system that was fairly wealthy. And so there were music teachers and there was access to instruments. So I played violin and clarinet, and, not all public schools have that opportunity. So it's near and dear to my heart for sure to try to increase access and ensure that everybody that wants to pursue music or even just try it out for a creative outlet can do so.
That's beautiful, Diana. And I am aware, increasingly more important, right? As things change in the world and what we can afford, or some choose to invest in public education.
It
I'm really grateful.
absolutely is. I mean, it's amazing what a small amount of money. I mean, these teachers are really on the front line and they're the ones that make magic happen. But even if we can provide $1,000 to a music teacher, they stretch it and they make the most of it. And it really is such a, in an increasingly polarizing environment, music is that universal language that connects us all, like the classic, what is your first concert you ever went to? Or what song brings you to your knees? What song makes you feel good in the morning? All of those things. It's so important. And it feels critical for these kids to have creative outlets. The more they're on screens and isolation is increasing, it really is such a cool way to learn a different language, if you will, and learn how to play music, read music.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing.
It's time for a speed round, Diana. You ready?
Yep.
Porch swing or reclining chair?
Oh, porch swing. No question.
Why?
I have a lot of energy and a lot and a recliner seems a little too passive for me. I've got a lot. Like I'd like to be. I love swings in general, so a porch swing sounds lovely.
Mornings or evenings?
Mornings.
How come?
I'm a bad sleeper, probably goes along with my lots of my energy. But no, I love it, and especially this time of year, we just had the time change. I love that it's light early, so I just yeah, there's something also peaceful in the morning at my house if I'm the first one up, and I can do my meditation, have my cup of coffee, do a little stretching before anybody else is up and about. I really love the morning time.
Last one for now. Travel to the past or travel to the future?
Oh God, that's a really hard one. I think there are probably some people that I would love to go back and, my grandparents, different things now being 55 years old and thinking, the older we get, the more we know and the less we know in a way. But I would love to go back and maybe ask some people that have been important in my life some questions that I never thought to ask at the time. But the future is pretty exciting as well. So that's a very tough question, but I guess I would go with to the past.
All right. You and Back to the Future.
Speaking of music, there's a song playing in my head. Can anyone from the 80s guess what it is?
The Power of Love. See.
You're the winner,
You
Kramer.
two have worked together for a long time.
Too long.
His tolerance for me is about 27 years shorter than his tolerance for you. Okay, Diana, let's stay on this creativity sort of thread. How or when are you most creative?
I really love collaboration. So I feel like part of my communication style really wants to cut through the BS and get to the, meaty conversation. I've always been that way. I have a fear of small talk and um, having to go network, if you will. But if I can have like a really great, deep conversation with a small group of people, that definitely gets me in the more creative brainstorming mode. And you kind of riff off each other's ideas. And then at the end of a, 30-minute conversation, hour conversation, whatever, you might have a whole list and you're really reinvigorated. So
Mm-hmm.
I do think that the collaboration, and as much as I know people enjoy the flexibility that since COVID has allowed in terms of remote work and not being in an office, I miss the team all gathering and being in the same place, because I think you do miss out on a lot of those just sort of water cooler moments where
Right.
a great idea somebody has a great idea, and then before you know it, you've got a new marketing campaign or a new program, or that collaboration gets me my creative juices going.
Yeah.
Recently, you were on stage at Red Rocks, I think, collecting a donation, right? Or a gift.
That is true. Yes, that was definitely a big moment. I never in my life did I think that I would ever be on that side of the stage. My first Red Rocks concert was so long ago. It was actually Widespread Panic opened for Blues Traveler. That's
Nice.
yes,
Gosh.
that was my very first.
Now we're dating ourselves.
But yeah, that was a pretty intimidating moment, and also so cool. Such an honor to be up there and to meet those musicians. It was definitely memorable.
Nice. What's something new or new you and your team are working on right now?
Really just this music piece that I was talking about, the whole Instruments for Change. We've had for years, we've worked, as I mentioned, with a roster of what we call tunes ambassadors. And these are nationally touring musicians. Some are Grammy nominated, Grammy winning musicians, and some are starting out in their careers. But we're really trying to, again, with this theme of fueled by people power, it's like, how do we've already got these musicians that believe in our mission. They're excited to be ambassadors for Candid. how do we empower them to do more? And so we've created a Tunes toolkit. So when our Tunes ambassadors, we're trying to recruit more Tunes ambassadors to join our program, but then we have a very turnkey way for them to engage with their fans and to rally those fans to donate to help us get more instruments into kids' hands across the country. So fine tuning, sorry, not intended, but fine tuning that ambassador toolkit and trying to just make things so easy, because for the most part, I think humans, we're hardwired to give back, to try to make a difference and help where we can. But everyone's busy, and these musicians are on the road, and so they're already taking time away from their families, or it's a pretty grueling schedule when you're out trying to make a living as a musician. And so we're trying to make it an easy yes for them. So a plug and play way that they can say, we're proud to partner with this nonprofit. We're proud to be a Tunes ambassador. And I think we've got a good plan that we've really dialed in for 2026. And we're excited to recruit new Tunes ambassadors and onboard them, and then just see if this makes a difference in the way that they're able to engage with us and engage their fans to learn about Candide.
Yeah. That's so cool. Diana, you said this is sort of a 2026 plan. What, if it's wildly positively received in 2026, what will that be like?
Gosh, it's I don't know. I guess the possibilities are endless. But what I love about the Tunes program in particular is that, when we started dreaming it up, we knew that the schools, the music teachers, and the students would benefit from it. But what has been really inspiring to me is that the musicians themselves are so excited to have a platform to give back while they're on the road. And I didn't expect that, because again, they might be playing till well after midnight, and then to go into an elementary school or a middle school or something the next day, typically it's earlier hours. But the way that they light up from being part of interacting with kids and telling their story, it's hard to know who's more excited, the kids or the musicians, because there's just this really nice exchange of energy and passion. And I think the schools that we're going into typically, as I said, are underfunded, often overlooked. They haven't had a real assembly or anything cool happen for those students in quite a while. And so to get, a Grammy award-winning musician to come in and talk to the kids and then reveal the fact that, hey, your music program just received new guitars or new, saxophones, whatever it might be, is so fun. And I think giving that gift to more students and more musicians is really, it creates this snowball effect of people that want to be part of doing something good. So it's just truly a win for everyone. So if we had more funding, we could just keep spreading more of this goodness, which is kind of the DNA of Candide from day one. So
I can't wait to see that snowball get bigger and bigger. Okay, we're going to go back to some sort of fun questions. Speed round. Forgiveness or permission?
Permission.
Ooh.
Really?
I mean, I'm just thinking, for the most part, I'm a rule follower. So I would rather have the permission to go ahead than to have to dig myself out of a hole. That being said, I've certainly done both. And sometimes if you've got the momentum and you feel in your heart that it's a great thing to do, I'm going to be asking for forgiveness if, I wouldn't say that the permission piece is going to really hold me back. But if I had a choice right in front of me, I would probably seek permission before I moved forward.
Awesome. Used book or new book?
Used book.
Book.
Love used bookstores, love supporting independent bookstores. And I also love the library. So I'm using we have a lovely library here in Lyons, and I feel so like civic minded when I go down and I check out my library book. I love it. It's awesome.
What do you love about used books?
Just again, maybe thinking of all the different people whose hands have been in it and what little nugget of wisdom they took from it. And it's the ultimate recycling. Like there's a brand new bookstore in Longmont that I love as well. So I'm not trying to say don't go buy new books, but used books just have such a nice history to them. And
Yeah.
I'm not an e-reader unless it's my only option. I like to have an actual physical book.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
Just like the newspaper and magazines. Yeah.
Do they
Old
print
school.
those anymore? Newspapers? I haven't seen a real live newspaper in a long time. Okay, one more. Bamboo or oak tree?
Wow, that's funny. It conjures up like my word is stronger than oak or whatever. But bamboo is renewable. It's a great reusable material, and we do a lot of recycling and renewable work with Cand-Aid. So I guess I'm going to go bamboo.
All right. All right. Such a thoughtful response to a speed round question.
Hey, we know, Diana, ourselves, you live it also, that leadership can be very exhausting. With all the rewards that come with it, can also be depleting. So, what for you is energy giving?
Anytime I can be moving my body outside, I'm a big mountain biker. I love hiking, trail running. And even if it's not exercising, just being out in nature is definitely rejuvenating to me.
Hmm.
I've got a great family and great close friends, so time with those folks for sure. But usually that time is on a bike or on a trail, so kind of works really well together.
And then what's energy depleting for you?
Small talk.
It's the second time you've said that. That's the second. Are you miserable right now doing this
No, 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 this is
podcast?
not. This is fun, but like I said, like I don't like the surface stuff, and I also hate doing budgets, which is what I'm doing right now because we're in November. So budgeting is energy draining to me for sure.
All right. So don't go to a cocktail party with a spreadsheet and talk to Diana.
That's my nightmare.
I've made a note of that. Diana, what do you want to learn next?
Gosh, so much. Work wise, I'm kind of always seeking out leadership books. I'm a big Brene Brown fan and Simon Sinek. And um, I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I just listened to the one, I'm going to butcher the guy's name, but who wrote Unreasonable Hospitality, which, do you guys know that? It's funny. I first
No.
heard about it at a Heart Leadership Summit that I went to in Colorado. So it's geared towards hospitality, but the lessons in that book translate to all sorts of things. But I really wonder how you can do philanthropy with this unreasonable hospitality, where oftentimes I think with nonprofits, it feels really transactional. You just write your annual check, and then they leave you alone until the next time they come back and ask you for money. And Candide has always been about trying to really form authentic relationships and see how we can get people that maybe they can't write a big check, but they know how to do X, Y, and Z. How do we bring them into our network and our community now more than ever when, like I said, people are so isolated and feel a little bit polarized or a lot polarized with the political arena and all sorts of things. So how can we make philanthropy feel sort of like that, where there's these magical moments and it's energy giving instead of depleting, and truly get some of our donors to feel part of Candide as a whole.
I love that. One of our tenets at Spiro Coaching is to create inspiring moments. And so that's something
Mm-hmm.
we're always on the look for. And a book I'll also mention, Kara has it over her shoulder, I think. It's called Fans First. And it's a book you might enjoy, Diana. It's by the
Nice.
founder of, well, he's the owner now, but really the creator of what is now, everyone knows, the Savannah Bananas baseball
Mhm.
team.
Yes.
And
Yep.
he's the driver behind all that. And it's kind of their ideology around this notion about how you engage baseball fans. So I am with you. How do we create inspiration at places we might not typically think we can find inspiration?
Exactly, that sort of unexpected little element. There's another book, I think you and I may have talked about it before, Rob, but The Power of Moments.
Yes.
Yes, right? Excellent. And some of them are so simple and they don't cost any money and they don't really take much time. It's just being intentional about how you're interacting with people. And
Yeah.
it's really memorable for folks and it's an easy thing to do.
Yeah, Chip and Dan Heath are awesome. And staying on the theme of books, Diana, what are you reading now?
I am reading, I just got the latest issue of The Bitter Southerner. I don't know if you guys get that magazine. It's based in Richmond. It's also tied to a nonprofit. It's Better South, Better World. They do the large format, beautiful magazine. And whenever it comes, it's only 4 issues a year. I read that cover to cover. So that's on my bedside table. I'm also reading On Earth. On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous. You guys read that book?
No.
My daughter recommended it to me, and it's dark and but beautiful, beautiful lessons in it. And then I'm always reading some sort of, like I said, like the Unreasonable Hospitality, or recently read Tommy Spalding's The Gift of Influence, which I really loved as well. Again, simple, but unexpected ways that you can show up for your neighbor, your family, or a perfect stranger.
Yeah. And since you're going to just pull us all the way to the end of this race, if you were going to give a book to someone as a gift, what would you give them?
There's a beautiful book, and I don't know the author. It's a turquoise hardback small book. It's called Ikigai, and it's the Japanese art of the diagram of where your passion and your wheelhouse and what the world needs all overlap and intersect. And I think that there's so many beautiful lessons in there that it doesn't really matter what field you're in, what age you are. There's just something for everyone. So I think that Ikigai would be my gift book.
Diana Hicks, it is so nice to see you again.
It is so great to see you.
Thank you for your time with this. It was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciated it.
Thank you.
Oh, we're so glad you joined us for it. We look forward to the next time that we get to see you, Diana, in person, maybe again. And in the meantime, we look forward to our listeners joining us for the next conversation.
For more information on this podcast and Spiro Coaching Institute, please visit spirocoaching.com. That's SPIRO coaching.com. Have a great one, everybody.
Cheers.